All right, let's talk about the hardest part of investing, and I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with picking the right stocks or trying to time the market. Nope, we're going to get into the one thing that trips almost everyone up, and it's probably not what you're thinking. Sound familiar? You finally did it. You opened the account, you started putting money in every month, and then you check it, and nothing. It feels like you've barely made enough for a cup of coffee. And that little voice in your head starts whispering, is this whole thing even working? And boom, there it is. This is the heart of the matter. The real battle isn't financial, it's mental. It's about having the patience to stick around during the boring part, because that's right before all the magic happens. To really get why this is so tough, let me tell you a quick story. It's a story that, honestly, plays out for thousands and thousands of new investors every single year. So, meet Maya. She's 25, she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she wants to do the smart thing for her future. She sets up an automatic investment of $200 a month into a basic index fund. She's doing everything by the book. But here's what she sees. After a full year, her gains are like $30. Not exactly life-changing. By the end of year 2, her account is pretty much just the money she herself put in. So, what happens? By year 3, she pulls the plug. She's convinced it's a waste of time, like she's just moving money around for no reason. And you can't blame her, right? Her reaction makes perfect sense based on what she saw. But the problem is, she was looking at an incomplete picture. So what was hiding just over the horizon?
This is the gut punch. This is what she missed. If she had just let it ride, by year 10, that pointless account will be worth over $36,000. Fast forward to year 20, it's over $117,000, and by year 30, almost $300,000. She quit right at the bottom of the hockey stick, just before it shot up.
So why? Why do so many people, like Maya, make this mistake? It's something called the linear brain trap. See, our brains are wired to think, I put in 1 unit of effort, I get 1 unit of results back. It's cause and effect. But investing doesn't work that way. It's exponential. The big, exciting results are stacked at the very end. And that just doesn't feel natural to us. Okay, so let's peek under the hood and see how this actually works. Let's look at the engine driving all that growth. The slow, steady, and honestly beautiful math of compounding. Now this is where it gets really cool. Check out the shift over time. In year 1, you put in $6,000 and it grows by maybe a couple $100. Barely noticeable. But jump down to year 15, you've put in $90,000 total, but look at the growth. It's made $83,000 all on its own. That's the tipping point. That's when your money starts working just as hard as you do. You know, a great way to picture this is with a boulder. For the first 10 years, you're pushing a giant boulder up a hill. It's slow, it's exhausting, and every inch of progress comes from your effort alone. But then you get to the top of the hill. And for the next 20 years, that boulder starts rolling by itself. It picks up its own speed, its own momentum, and you don't have to push anymore. Most people quit while they're still pushing. But of course, it's not just the slow start. There's another giant monster that makes people quit: fear. What do you do when the market takes a nosedive? Especially when you're just starting out, a 15% drop can feel like the end of the world. It feels like all your doubts are being confirmed, that this whole thing was a huge mistake. And that gut reaction is to sell, to just get out and stop the pain. But all that does is take a temporary dip on paper and turn it into a real, permanent loss of your money. So we have to completely change how we think about this. Market swings aren't a bug, they're a feature. Volatility is literally the price of admission. It's the ticket you have to buy to get the incredible long-term returns we saw earlier. Nobody gets to ride the roller coaster up without going through a few dips on the way down. Okay, so we get the psychology, we get the math. Now for the most important part. How do we actually beat our own brains? How do we set ourselves up so we don't quit? It's way simpler than you think. Step 1, automate everything. Your contributions, your investments, all of it. Make the decision once and then take your emotions out of the equation. Step 2, choose boring. Seriously, a simple, broad market index fund is perfect because there's nothing to obsess over. And step 3, maybe the most important. Set a schedule for checking your account and stick to it. The less you look, the less you'll be tempted to panic. And hey, if you're thinking, okay, great, but where do I even start? Here's a simple, powerful idea. A fantastic place for many people to begin is with a retirement account, like a Roth IRA. Now, the max you can put in changes, but a great goal is to just try and max it out. For example, the projected max for 2026 is around $7,500. Aiming for that gives you a concrete goal and packages this whole strategy into one simple, actionable step. So, after all this, the waiting, the discipline, the ignoring of scary headlines, what's it all for? Let's circle back to the real prize, the future that you're quietly, patiently building in the background. I really want this to sink in. If you're in your first few years of investing and you feel that frustration, that boredom, that sense of, is this even working? That's not a red flag. That's a green light. That means you are doing it exactly right. You are right on schedule. So the mission is simple. Don't be Maya. Don't quit 3 years in. Trust the system, trust the math, and just let time do its work. The only question left is, when you check back in 10 years, what story is your account going to tell?